A few of you have kindly reminded me of the last few videos about the begonias in the basket, because I always forget to reclaim these. So in the next day or two I'll be emptying these out, taking the corms out and popping them into the greenhouse to dry out. Previous video I mentioned that I'd had these gladioli corms from McPortley. There's already dried out, but I've left them in the greenhouse another couple of weeks, so I'm just now going to do what they call top and tailing. Now on a Sunday evening, Mick hosts a Zoom session amongst various gardeners, quite a wide spectrum really from all aspects of gardening, and on there I'm going to say there's a couple of experts, I would class as experts. One of them is a guy named Nigel, who I consider an expert in the field of these gladioli. He's very well respected in the circles of growing gladioli, and he's also a judge. And quite often Nigel will come on with a few slides, and he's quite willingly to explain how things are done judging wise, what judges are looking for, how the gladioli are classed in different groups because of the size of the flowers, and little instant tips how to get the flowers more compact together and stuff like that. But this week in particular, he did a little chat about how to prepare the corms once you've dried them out. Now these are dried out, what we need to do now is a thing called top and tailing. And first of all, leave the stalk on first of all to dry them out, and that gets any moisture you can get out the end there. But now, once that's thoroughly dry and you can feel it is, close to the top with the secateurs, just snap the top off there like that. Then you turn it over, and underneath there, the roots, you've got these little, what I call bulbils, but these are actually corms, gladioli from southern called cormlets. And what you need to do is remove this root there right down to the plate of the actual corm, and you can do this very, very gently, because as it's dried now, it's started to separate slightly, but not quite enough. I've got a little knife here. Just gently ease under the plate, and it will lift itself up, go round very gently, try not to damage the bottom, and just prise itself out. And as it goes along there, you can feel it lifting. All of a sudden, gradually, it'll lift itself off. That's just gone there, just give it a bit more, and that's lifted off. Now, like most things which produce little babies on the root, you can save these, pot them up. I like to keep these separate so that they're all the same, off the same corm. What you do, pot them up in the spring, and all you're interested to do is get the energy back into those to produce one of these or a number of these during the season. Not interested in flowers at all, it's energy purely going into there. So obviously you can put nitrogen in to build it up. But once this is, you've got the plate back off, there's a little recess in there now. You can tidy that up by just nipping off the straggling shoots. And that there now is left to dry further in the greenhouse until we start planting in the spring. So that's the gladioli corm sorted out. If you're interested in having a look at the Zoom session at Mick House, it's on the Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. I'll put a link, Mick's email address below. Just drop him an email, tell him that I've mentioned it on my channel, and in return he'll send you a registration form where you put your name and your email address. Email that back to him. Then usually it's about 24 hours before the session you get a link sent to you, and what you need to do then is click that link to join the session. As I said, it's 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening, UK time. If you're in the States, that shouldn't matter, but Australia might be a bit of a problem. But never mind. Just come along and have a look, see what you think. There's some good guest speakers on there, and you do pick some useful information up. Like quite a lot of gardeners around the UK, The beds are emptying and the big clean-up's beginning. A bit more for me this year. I've said quite a few times I'm going to be replacing most of the boards on the beds. I've already started having to clear up. This bed here had the flower bordering, you may recall. So I've taken all those out, although I've still got the structure in which I grow the sweet peas up. That's going to be moving along just a little bit there into that bed ready for next year. But in this bed I'm going to be growing the garlic. I've actually removed some Dahlia tubers, a bit bigger than I thought they would, so I'm going to keep them. I'll just show you what I got. I must say I'm very happy with these Dahlias. These tubers are a decent size, and say these was grown from seed this year, so I thought I'd give them a chance and save them. Normally I'd dry them off and let the soil crumble, but I just want to get them put away and forget about them. So I've got quite a lot of other things to do this year. As you can see, decent sizes. You know. The weather's still warm at the moment, so I'll put these in my greenhouse in the garden. It does get quite warm in the daytime, and I reckon these should dry out in a week or so, and I'll probably then store them in some sawdust. Well, I have cleaned up quite nicely, and providing they survive the winter, they should get us off to a nice early start next year. The last few mornings have been noticeable. Touch of frost starting to come in the air, and it's no more noticeable than on the celery. They've took a right battering. The stems are still quite firm at the moment, so I'm going to be harvesting all these, and we can use them in soups and stuff. If they live many longer, they'll start to get mushy. I think we may have caught this just in time. One or two stems are starting to go a little bit mushy, but in general, they're still fairly firm. So, it doesn't look too pretty at the moment. I'm going to give these a tidy up, wash under the tap, and see what we can get. I've given these a swill down now with the house pipe, and very happy with what I got left. Probably my best year for celery so far, and say we've had these for 2 months at least with salads, and these will go into a nice soup. Another job I want to get while the cold weather's arriving now is to get these beetroot out. These was the last sowing, and although them nothing size wise, I don't like leaving beetroot in too long because you find that they'll get woody in there. But these will be alright for still using on a salad or something, or maybe even slicing up and pickling whole. Well, these are probably the last of what I call the tender veg that I need to get out before the true frosts do arrive. Give these a clean up and process them, and that's them put to bed. We're approaching bonfire night, or Guy Fawkes night, whatever you want to call it, and there'll be plenty of fireworks and, more importantly, bonfires about. If you're having a bonfire, take extra care, and also make sure you've got a couple of containers of water nearby, just in case the fire gets out of hand. That's about it for this one. See you in the next one. Take care all. Bye for now.